Hi. Hello. Nice. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that it's Thursday. Actually, tomorrow it's also a holiday here, so well, I would like to say that I won't be working, but honestly I will be. So I will still be here just for your interest, and still need to do this thing, otherwise you can't comment for some reason. But now I've learned how to do it, so yay. I'm really happy that it's Thursday because I really like our Thursday appointment, because I told you many times that I've never learned how to draw, and I really love drawing actually, or sketching and doing stuff. It's just that I never had, I think, the patience for it. It's not true that I never had the time. I mean, obviously everyone can make time if they want to, but apart from extreme situation. Anyway, this is where we left last week, and this is where we're gonna pick up today. So I'm happy that you're here. I hope that I am in focus. Can't really see it. Am I in focus? I hope so. It's not like you need to see my face anyway. Anyway, for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm Joy, and I'm an art jeweler, and I'm the host of this art club that is growing and expanding. And on Thursdays I learn how to draw, and you're welcome to learn with me, or otherwise you're welcome to take these 30-minute as the art break that it should be, and you can sketch, learn a new technique, learn a new art form, do whatever you want, but it needs to be something around art, and it needs to be exciting for you. So that's the caveat. If you'd like to learn with me, welcome. Let's dig into it. So last time we stopped at the nose, and this is where I'm gonna pick up today. Again, if you have any kind of not advice, if you're not rude, but honestly I haven't had any rude comments yet, so since everybody expects that on social media, I feel like I'm really lucky. Maybe I just haven't reached enough people to get the rude comments, but anyway, regardless of the rude comments, if they're not rude and you have some advice to give to me, please feel free to do it, because I'd love to improve, and it's much more difficult to do it by myself rather than having somebody else that knows more than I do giving some advice. That's why we take courses and stuff like that. So that being said, we'll go on with the nose, and I think we got to a nice point here. So I sketched this thing that's supposed to be the nose last time, and it's this like triangular shape with it's a bit of a bell shape. They describe it here as a bell shape, and I think it's quite on point as a description, and I'm gonna just put it over here. Also, basically this part here is the part that represents the cheekbones, and it says here that the cheekbones are kind of the same height as the eye as well, the eye sockets. So that's, I think, approximately right. And the nose needs to get down to here. So that's what I'm gonna do now. You can see that it goes a bit over here, and there is this part. I don't want to do like, I would like to keep this very neutral. I mean, I know that what we feel like is very neutral is obviously very biased, because if we were in a different kind of culture, then we wouldn't, what we consider like a neutral nose is what's considered neutral in the West. But all I'm trying to say is that I wouldn't like to do a skull with a lot of character, with very unique features. I would like to do a very general. I would like to learn to do a very general kind of skull. And yes, we can discuss on what general means and all of that. And it's a very interesting discussion, in my opinion. I think this pencil is just too soft, so I'm going to go with this one, which is probably too light. But at least I'm not like drawing gigantic lines all the time, which I think it just blurs everything. So I think I did the first part here quite, maybe it's pointing up too much. Yeah, I feel like that was a bit, you know, like going up too much. So, but maybe it's the eye socket that needs to go a bit further here. Maybe that's what it is, because I'm taking this as a point of reference, but I feel like my skull is not exactly at the same angle as this one, which is making everything just easier, because, you know, why not? So I think that's kind of fine, and that's kind of fine. Maybe I should have started with an easier book, honestly. I didn't think, yeah, I was very maybe a bit cocky about my my talent. I thought it was like, yes, this is gonna be easy. It's not. It's really not easy. And also it's making me really want to go to an art class, or, you know, go to an actual course with somebody that can tell me, hey, you're doing this right, you're doing this wrong, and maybe, you know, tell me where I should start. Maybe that would have been, but the problem is, at the moment, unfortunately, I don't have time for it, because at the moment I'm preparing for this fair I've been talking about, and you can't see it, but like over here I have like 30 earrings that I need to finish, and I think you can't see them, but you know, I need to just clean up everything, finish everything. But even when I'm not preparing for a fair, I still, you know, I think when you have a creative business, you still kind of put all of your effort in that place. And yeah, that's what I do. I don't know if that's right, and I don't know if that's right for me creatively, but still. I think this is just, you know, here the line is broken. We have one line that goes in this way, and then this one goes that way. And yes, I'm not afraid to draw on books. This way I think you can see it a bit better. Well, what I have is just one straight line, so that's not working. So I need to have a line. This line needs to be a bit pointing a bit upper. And also, I just realized that I did this bit completely square instead of being, I mean, this part here is obviously like smaller than this part over here, and I did it exactly the same size. So I'm gonna make that a bit, you know, smaller. So that's, and these need to, I really like drawing like these lines, because it makes me understand like how much of an inclination that line should have, and I think I can see it so much better. Like the way I draw this is it's parallel to this part here, while this is completely different. You can see that that goes that way. So there is something wrong with my eyes, because they should go a bit more this way. So this needs to be bigger and then smaller. By the way, the advice I got on my first live of this kind, telling me to first redraw and then erase, was great advice. So if you have some more, please share it with me. So this is supposed to be a bit more like that, I think. And then this, I think that's quite right. This, this part here, and this is also quite right. So this is the nose, and then here it goes, you know, it goes like directly through the eye. So this should go up to here, which is quite right, you know, it's quite right. Maybe a little bit closer, so maybe a bit more here. So yeah, I feel like I'm not doing like bad. Probably it's going to look awful at the end. Like I said, I'm going to try to do quite a like non-descriptive face, which, yes, as I said before, it will have kind of, it will be a Western face, just because, you know, these are the faces that are in this book mostly. So it's also the face that you find in paintings most easily, at least in like antique paintings. And that's absolutely a pity, because, you know, not all skeletons are the same, and it would be much more interesting to understand also, you know, the different features for different people. Also, I think along this book, I saw there is a part between, like, that shows the differences between a female skeleton or a male skeleton, and it always says, and I appreciate that it's just a general rule. It's not like if you have that kind of bone structure, then you are a male, or if you have the other kind of bone structure, you're a female. Like, oh, it said something here, you know, about the brow bone, and the fact that usually males have it more, it's more, comes out more, it's more prominent than the female. I really like the fact that it says just that statistically it goes that way, but it's not yet definitive. So, but that's what I would like it if it did the same for, like, also skeletons of younger, older people, like children, and also different kinds of ethnicities. Yeah, I would appreciate that. I don't think it's gonna happen in this book, but also I don't know, I think this book is not very new. That's not an excuse in any way, but I'm just saying that probably today it would have a bit more, it would just consider people a bit more, I hope. This is from 2001. It was originally published in 1990, so it's not very, it's not very up to date. Unfortunately, hopefully we'll have better and better standards, you know, more diverse and varied standards, because why shouldn't we, honestly? Oh, also, happy Halloween to anyone who celebrates Halloween or cares about Halloween. I don't. You know, Halloween is just not a very big deal in Italy. It just isn't. So I've never celebrated it as a child. I mean, as a teenager, we had more like, we did it a little bit, but yeah, it's not like a very relevant tradition here. Tomorrow is a holiday, as I said, it's a national holiday, but we don't have anything cool like, you know, in the Latino tradition for the Day of the Dead. We just go usually to the cemetery and say hi to the dead of the family, you know, the dead, how do you say it? Anyway, the parts of the family that are dead. That's it. It's not very nice to say, but yeah, that's the point of it. I don't know if what I'm doing is right over here, but I draw this part, which is this part over here. Mine looks a bit more like a square, while his is more like a rectangular shape. So I will like make it a bit shorter. But I also feel like the space here is much smaller, and I think it's because this part, it's coming out a bit more. Like, again, I really love these lines. I know there are people who hate drawing on books, and I understand it. I'm not one of those, obviously. I write and draw. I've always done this, even to, you know, study. I've always been one of those people who just, yeah, destroys the books. I'm sorry if you are like suffering. I'm sorry. I really am, but I mean, this is a bit too long, I feel. So maybe this should be like in between. My partner is one of those people who really hates drawing on anything. He's not like, I do this for books. How do you say it? That you like, yeah, I don't use like a book tag or whatever. I just flip a part of the page, and he hates it. He hates that I do that. We never share books for that reason. Well, actually, he never shares books with me for that reason. So I feel like that is a bit better, but also like that, this is a bit too small, too skinny compared to where it should be. Maybe that's a bit too big. I feel a bit like Goldilocks, you know, this is too big, that's too little, let's go for something in the middle. Which, by the way, I think works for like most things. Like every time I give my clients, I usually give them like when I do custom work, I give them 3 choices or 2 choices depending on what they're looking for. And if I give them, every time that I give them 3 opportunities, they always choose the middle one. Every time. If I give them 2, they're going to go for usually the cheapest, unless there is some kind of reason not to. But if I give them 3, they usually go for the middle one. Now I did that, but I don't like it. I feel like the nose is wrong. It's just too open. This is going to be such a mess. But I don't care because I'm learning. Who cares? Nobody's going to... I mean, when I say nobody's going to see it, you are seeing it. But still, I mean, if you judge me for not knowing how to draw when I actually told everyone that I don't know how to draw, why should I care? I don't know. I just don't... yeah. I just don't care about not knowing stuff when I know that I don't know that thing. I don't know, maybe this just made no sense, but that's it. So I think I did basically the structure of the nose. I'm gonna erase some of the lines that I did because it's a bit too much. But I think I did the basic structure. What do you think? Also, if you think that this book is too hard, which is too difficult, which I mean it can be, or if you know of other better books to learn how to draw, again, I'm willing to change and to learn. That's not a problem. So I think I did the nose. I'll put a little bit of shadowing just to understand where it's supposed to be. You know, this is like that part over here where it's the thinnest. So a little bit of shadow there. I think this was supposed to be slightly, yeah, that's better. I like using different pencils. I know this is very random, but I like it. So that's, and I really like shadowing. Also, I did one of the courses that I did when I was in Florence, learning how to become a goldsmith, one of the things that I did was engraving. And you know, when you engrave, to put like lights and shadows, just put lines, you know, you do the classic, and then you go on the other, and then the other side, and you do that to create, you know, lights and shadows. And I think it gives you, because it's such tedious and precise work, I think it gives you a very good idea of, it gives you time to think on where you want to put the shadows. And as you can see, my hand is very nervous. I don't have, I think, a smooth hand. I have a very nervous hand. And see, I just want to do that. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why it wasn't like great engraver. I mean, I was fine at it, but just wasn't. There were people who were much better than me. They just had the calm and then the tranquility to just put in all the lines. Well, I didn't. I don't really understand why the inside here is lighter than the part, like why is this part darker than the inside here? Not sure about that, but I will like follow it. It's still dark, but not as dark. And there is still, you know, this line. We'll see how that turns out to be when we add the rest of the face. I feel like I didn't put the nose in. I just realized that I didn't put the nose in the center of the face. Can you see that? The point where I put the nose is just not in the center. It's not between the eyes. It should have been like a bit more over here. And this should have been a bit more over here. I love it when this happens. When you just, you know, you're feeling it and you're like, yes, this is good, this is going good, this is fine. And then you realize, like, nope, that was wrong. But it's called learning, so it's fine. There is something super weird, absolutely super weird with this part over here, I think. Like, I am supposed to have that very, like, straight line over there. But maybe this part should be a bit, you know, higher. I think that was one of the problems. But also the fact that this line here just doesn't exist over here, right? Yeah, it's just this line doesn't exist. I'm adding lines that don't exist, and that's not, you know, that's not very nice of me. I think that's not bad now. I will look at it from above, because obviously doing it from here, from this point of view, it's not really helping. I should like put it on a, you know, like book thing, but then you wouldn't see it, and this wouldn't, you know, this wouldn't make sense, because I'm trying, you know, if I didn't have you to keep me accountable, I would, like today, I have to do so much stuff that I would never take that 30-minute break to do this. I would just not do it because I have to do other stuff. Then it's more, how do you say it? It just needs to be done. But, you know, I'll stay here that half an hour more, and I will be happy that I've taken a half an hour to do something that has nothing to do with my actual job. Because, you know, I'm so stressed, and in next week it's going to be the last week that I do this from here, and then I'm going to do it for 2 or 3 days. I'm going to do these lives directly from the fair. I'm not going to be able to do it every day because, like, I'm going to be flying, and it will be quite hard to do it from a plane. No, it makes no sense. But I will be doing them from the fair so that you can just live the fair with me, hopefully. And so I will be doing that. I feel like this is just very, it looks a bit like that. So maybe this should be shorter. So anyway, I just have another week and then I will leave for the US. That looks nicer. And so I really need to, I'm feeling quite, stressed and everything, like everyone does. I think that's just normal. But I'm really enjoying taking this time for myself to just learn something that I've always wanted to. And I'm doing this because I have you to keep me accountable for. So I'm really enjoying this. So now I'll go on with the cheekbones. And the cheekbones are two squares basically. So one is going to be over here. And the other one, obviously this is going to go like that. And the other one is kind of over here. And then they have these kind of like glasses kind of thing. So this goes straight here and it will go to the ears eventually when I'll start doing ears, which I won't because this is skull. So, but I'm now drawing this line, which will go approximately over here, while this will start from down here and just connect around halfway there, so around here. Also, I'm a big fan of cheekbones. I know that's a bit of a cliche, but still, I mean, they are something. People who have cheekbones have something special. People who have like prominent cheekbones are just something. Actually, really, I've understood with time that I just like very evident features. I really like to see. This is going to sound really weird. I just like heard it in my mind and it's going to sound really weird. But I really like to see the skeletons. See, the bone structure on people's faces. I just think that it's very, very interesting. So, those people have very important, brows or very important foreheads or, the chins. It just gives so much uniqueness and movement to a face. Maybe it's just because I have like a very regular face, with like fatty cheeks and all of that I like when I can see. I like the opposite, we all have that. But I just think that, people with very interesting noses, I really like that. I'm one of those creeps that when you're on the subway just, stares. And I'm actually staring at usually the bone structure. Like people, like where the eyes sit, if they are like closer to the nose or far or further away to the nose. I don't know, when you start actually looking at people's faces, I just feel like you see so much more than the traditional beauty that we've been, that we've learned. They're like this kind of non-descriptive female. Also, I love the fact that we got these males with, like bold on the older side, with eyeglasses, with very thin lips, and with a kind of personality. And then we have these females that are just kind of pretty women with nothing else. Anyway, I'm getting carried away. I feel like I did quite a good job with the cheekbones. What do you think? Maybe this is a bit too wide, but maybe I don't care because I like wide cheekbones. And this is kind of, this is going up there while this is going down there. So I think this should project up here. And they're keeping a bit more light over here. at the end I will start to maybe put some lights and shadows in a way that makes sense, because I'm not doing it at the moment. But that's my favorite part. So I will do it, I promise. So a bit here. I think I'm not getting the brow part right. This part is killing me, but I will work on it a bit more. So, unfortunately, and I'm really disappointed, our half hour is up, and if you've taken this break with me, I have to tell you that the break is up, unfortunately. And we're going to go on with this next Thursday. I'll try to be a bit quicker because maybe today was a bit slow, but I'm quite happy with where we're at, honestly. This is a bit too sharp, but yeah. And I just wanted to remind you that tomorrow we're going to talk about art news and what has happened in this week in the art world. And if you have anything that you want to send my way, please do. If I've missed something last week, just let me know. And on Monday, we're gonna talk about the documentary on Jean-Michel Basquiat. I think it's a very interesting documentary, and it's also available if you just Google it. There are some free versions online from different kind of streaming platforms. So there's also that option, and I linked it in my community tab, so you can always find it. And yeah, I hope to see you all tomorrow, and I hope you have a lovely Halloween evening if you celebrate it, and that tomorrow you have a wonderful Day of the Dead, hopefully with people you love. And yeah, I'm gonna unfortunately stop drawing and go and do some more work. Yay! I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye!